Hi everybody, it's Nancy Burke and I'm going to show you how I add shading to some of my flowers after I've colored them in with my watercolor markers. I'm coloring in the Secret Garden adult coloring book by Johanna Basford. This is one of my favorites because it's basically just a whole lot of flowers, and those are always fun to color. Okay, so this page I've pretty much finished. This is what it started out like. It's like this one over here. I've already started to add some pink to the flowers on this side, but this side I've already done. And what I wanted to show you for this particular video is how I add some of the shading. You can see here how there's some shading under some of the leaves of the flowers. And I've got a few flowers that I haven't done yet up here that I haven't shaded in. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Once I've colored in my flowers with all my pinks and the colors that I wanted to use, I want to add just a little bit more dimension so that they almost look like they're popping off the background page. And I like to use, this is a Tombow watercolor marker, N75, N stands for neutral. This is just a really good gray. I like that they've got a large variety of neutrals and grays that work really well for shading, and they blend really well because they're watercolor marker. And I've always really loved working with these. I've had these for probably about 10 years, a whole set, and I have yet to have one that's dried out or that the tip has started to give me problems or get frayed or something. So, okay, so how I add some of my shading is I imagine that I've got some light coming from the upper left. So that means that all my shadows are going to be on the lower right part of my flower. So I've got light coming in from this direction. I keep drawing on my flower. Okay, so if I've got light coming in from here, that means I'm going to start adding shadows down here. So I just swipe my marker along just under the leaves, the petals of the flowers, and that just gives it a little bit more dimension. I can add even more dimension up in my flower by adding some shadows up in here, maybe a little more up in here, just to give it a little bit more, dimension. I'm going to do the same thing over here, imagining that my light's coming from my upper left, so that means that my shadows are all going to be on my lower right side. In this flower, I'm going to add a little more shading up in here. I've done this flower. This flower, where are we at here? Okay, this flower hasn't been done, so I'm going to add a little bit shading in here, down here, maybe a little bit up in here too, just to give the center a little bit more dimension. I'm trying to color with one hand and video with the other, so I apologize if it's a little shaky or I'm not following, the video's not following my hand very well. Okay, I haven't shaded this one, so we're just going to add a little bit up in here. And as you can see, I added a checkered background to this page over here. Just started out like this. I went ahead and used a ruler and drew myself a grid and colored it in with just a black fine point marker. And just going to fill this in, add a little bit more shading. I kind of like the look of not having a completed checkered background, just sort of gives it a little bit more of an artistic, fun, quirky look. I'll go ahead and finish shading some of these other flowers, but that is the overall look that I'm going for. See how I've got the checkered background that's just sort of faded out, that's not completed. I've just done some random ones. Just make sure that if you do random ones, follow your pattern so that it's still in a proper checkerboard pattern. I made a mistake up, where is it at? Oh, right up in here. I made a mistake and I've got a checkered one that is filled in black that should have been white. Anyway, that bothers me. It's not noticeable unless I point it out, but I know it's there, so that bothers me. But yeah, so I've added shading to the flowers, and I've got these little butterfly moth looking things. I'm not sure what they are. Those have got some shading as well. So there we go. That is the overall page. Thanks for watching.